You know, in wrestling, the absolute best stories, they're almost always born from the deepest, most bitter rivalries. But what happens when the most terrifying figure in the history of WWE shows up to confront his greatest rival, not for a fight, but for something nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming? Let's break down one of the most incredible moments of storytelling we've seen in a long, long time.
For 30 years, that wasn't just a catchphrase. It was a promise, a simple, chilling statement of fact from The Undertaker. If he showed up, your night was over. But what we're about to see is how that legendary line was so brilliantly twisted to create a moment of pure shock and ultimately pure respect. All right, so let's set the scene. It's Monday Night Raw, and standing right in the middle of that ring is one of the greatest performers of his generation, just soaking in the energy from thousands of screaming fans. The phenomenal AJ Styles. He's in his element. He's a master of his craft, and that crowd is hanging on every single word. It feels like a moment of triumph for him. But as you know, in the world of WWE, a moment like that is often just the calm before the storm. And then you hear it. Gong. That one sound. It just cuts through everything, and the entire arena goes silent. It's a sound that has meant doom for generations of superstars. It can only mean one thing. The Undertaker is here. Now look, history tells us that when the dead man shows up, it is for one reason and one reason only: to settle a score. And as he slowly walked into that ring and stood face to face with AJ Styles, every single person in that building and all of us watching at home, we thought we knew exactly what was about to happen. And there it is. That's the line. The crowd just erupts because those are fighting words. It's a direct shot, a callback to their legendary and frankly, deeply personal rivalry that ended in that insane boneyard match at WrestleMania. The message seems crystal clear. There's one more fight left on the table. And this, right here, this is where the genius of it all kicks in. Every single sign pointed to one last, brutal showdown. A challenge to finally settle that old score. But the reality, it was a complete swerve. They weaponized our own expectations, using the real history between these two legends to lead us all down the wrong path. So the tension is just, it's off the charts. AJ Styles is steeling himself. He's ready for a war. And The Undertaker leans in. But what he says next isn't a threat at all. It's something that flips his entire 30-year character completely on its head. Whoa. He takes his own iconic line and he twists it. You can literally hear the collective gasp from the audience. What does that mean? Is he here to forcibly retire AJ Styles? The threat feels so personal, and a real chill just runs through the arena. The trap has been perfectly set. And then, the reveal. You're not just going, you're going into the Hall of Fame, and the entire building just explodes. It goes from this stunned, tense silence to an absolute eruption of cheers. It's just a beautiful, completely unexpected twist, a masterclass in how to tell a story. And with those words delivered with a kind of gravity that only The Undertaker has, the story comes full circle. See, it was never about one last fight. It was about one final, ultimate sign of respect. And believe me, the roar of that crowd tells you everything you need to know. So let's talk about why this moment matters so much. Because it's not just about the Hall of Fame induction, right? It's about who was delivering the news. You have to remember the history here. This wasn't just some rivalry. It was a deeply personal war. They headlined WrestleMania in that completely unique boneyard match, which, by the way, was The Undertaker's final match. So for AJ Styles to get this honor from the very man he retired, that's just pure poetry. And really, that's what this all boils down to. In pro wrestling, the animosity you see in the ring is what builds the story. But behind that story is almost always this deep professional respect. And for your fiercest opponent to be the one to personally welcome you into immortality, that's the highest honor you can possibly get. So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? After all the world championships, all the main events, all the money and the fame, is this the ultimate prize? Is earning the respect of your greatest rival the one thing that truly cements your legacy forever? That's the beauty of storytelling when it's done right.